So.
Well, we're Dallas, so we're never gonna get any calls like you think.
The outcomes are always different.
I'm gonna be honest. The refs are horrible.
Pretty poor.
But I mean, there's only 3 of them, so it's hard to catch all the action, right? But yeah, like the one tonight was a definite push.
Shouldn't have been 2 fouls. Should have been on the Indiana Pacers.
Yeah, lots of traveling.
Yeah, a lot of travel, a lot of carries.
I think the new age Euro stepping that the players are doing, some are getting away with it, some aren't.
Some of these guys, you can tell they're doing that just to get a foul. Only superstars who get that.
If they really understood the commitment and the amount of work and things and dedication that most of our guys have, I think they would have a different perspective on a mistake versus us being bad. You know, if we've got 100 calls a night, and if 95 of those calls are correct, which is about right, they only tweet the 5. You know, our goal is to really not impact the outcome of the game. So
what's that like as a longtime vet referee, having to deal with that media piece? We wake up to SportsCenter in the morning and we hear about a bad call last night and how it may or may not have affected the game. You know, you gotta wake up to that same conversation too. What's that like after 24 years?
I mean, the next day, if you can imagine, you're walking through the airport, everywhere you are, there are people looking at you saying, that's the guy from the game last night. Not about a positive thing.
Right. That's exactly what I mean. Yeah.
Correct. And
right.
so then it migrates over into my kids. So my kids go to school, and if a kid's a fan of a team or something, they said, your dad last night did this.
Screwed up.
And my kids were catching stuff on their Instagrams and everything about their dad. So there's far more reach now.
Sure. Back in the day when it was Bird and Parrish and Jordan, there weren't these big, you didn't hear about these big stories about referees screwing up the game. Mm-hmm. There wasn't instant replay. So having taken the 24 years and up to where we are now, how has that changed for you as an officiator in terms of how you go to work every day?
Well, it has, but I look at instant replay this way. There are about 14 different things that we can go review. We can't review everything. To me, it helps because you can live with me making a mistake that you were able to see that I possibly could correct. You can live with that. Yeah. And so for me, I think it was a plus adding instant replay.
So you've got to really stand next to and chit chat and probably giggle with some of the NBA's greatest players. What's that like every night?
Well,
to be able to meet your kids' heroes in a sense every night.
It's a little bit different because I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan. I'm not a basketball fan.
There you go. And you're an NBA ref.
We have some referees that all they do is watch basketball games. For me, I'm not that way. I wanted to be a judge when I came out of high school, and so I went and I ended up going to college for business administration and more emphasis in computer business or whatever, but I wanted to be a judge. So when I got the opportunity to do this, it fulfills being a judge, the jury, prosecuting attorney, defense attorney. I haven't lost a case yet, right? And so,
that's true.
So for me, the aspect of being able to do something and do it at a high level and try to be as accurate as I can possibly be and as fair as I can possibly be fulfills what I wanted to do in life.
How do you leave the game every night on the court, especially when you got your kids at home worrying about bad calls or worrying about good calls?
What you view as heckling, I view as praise. If I'm in an arena and they're booing me, at least that meant I had the intestinal fortitude to do something that I felt needed to be done.
Sure. When
I knew 20,000 people may not like it. You always hear that one person that's yelling out something, but he's usually trying to impress his girlfriend or something. It never really phases us. I think we're pretty much all type A personalities. We all want to be correct all the time.
Sure.
And no one's harder and no one feels worse about something that happens than us.
And you guys.
Well, I really appreciate
Tony,
you coming.
It was great to meet you. Thanks again for your time. It was great to talk to you.
It's not like it's something that you're filtering out and getting someone to come ask the questions that you want them to ask. And we're being as honest and upfront as we can possibly be about what we do. And I think that's the type of dialogue that we need if we're going to change the perception of officials everywhere.
It was great. I've never had the opportunity to talk to an NBA ref, let alone any kind of ref before, so that was really cool.